Hey there, everybody, and welcome to a CLNS Red Sox Roundtable. I'm Alex Barth. He's Nick Quaglia. We're talking about the upcoming series, the big series this weekend between the Boston Red Sox and the defending World Series champion, Houston Astros. Nick, did you see how NESN was marketing this series as the defending AL East champions versus the defending World Series champions? A little mismatch bout there, if you're asking me.
Yeah, it's getting sad, especially you could say they're the AL East champions, which they were, but they didn't. The Yankees went further than they did in the playoffs, so that's kind of a joke.
And the Yankees did better against Houston than they did as well. But yeah, you do have last year's champion against the best record in the MLB this year. So there is a lot at stake here. Like we talked about in a roundtable yesterday, and you can go back and check that out on our YouTube page, CLNS Media. This is one of the few competitive series the Red Sox will have this year. It's going to be on national TV, weekend set. There's a lot of hype around this series. And Nick Quaglia, let me tell you why. This is the definitive measuring stick for the 2018 Boston Red Sox, at least in the regular season. If we get to the postseason, when we get to the postseason, we can have another conversation. But there will be no better test for the Boston Red Sox than what they do this, what is it, last weekend of May, first weekend of June, whatever it marks out as on the calendar. The Yankees, well, they are very good. The Red Sox see 19 times a year. They're familiar with them. You can't judge too much by that series. You can judge the head-to-head, but I'm not sure how much it tells you about each team externally. This is the team the Red Sox have to beat if they want to get to the World Series, and this is the road series, the only time they go down to Houston. So for me, everybody's been all hyped. Oh, the Red Sox are the best team in baseball. They're really this good. They're very good. I'm optimistic, but I've been putting my real opinion of this team on pause for this specific weekend. I want to see what the Red Sox do this weekend, and then I will form my opinion on this team because this is the definitive test for this squad.
First of all, I cannot believe that you're optimistic. I just cannot.
The best record in baseball. How could I not be? Cautiously off.
How can you not be?
It's the best record in baseball.
You're pessimistic about everything. Everything.
It's the best record in baseball. What do you want me to be upset about that?
Yeah, I know. You probably could be if you forced yourself to be.
Oh, if I tried to, I probably could be. But no, I'm optimistic. Probably. But again, let's say they come out and they get swept this weekend. Oh, it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion because it doesn't matter. None of this matters. The best record, ask the Washington Capitals, the best record in the league doesn't matter unless you can beat the best team when it counts. And if they can't beat them this weekend, they're not going to beat them in October. And that is what I think is at stake this series. They got to at least show, I'm not asking for a sweep, but they got to show they belong on the same field with the Houston Astros because they sure as hell didn't last year.
No, they do. In even last year's series when I believe they went down to Houston too, it was misleading because a lot of the Astros were hurt at the time. This season they have a full squad, and I had somebody bring.
I think Mookie Betts is supposed to be back.
Mookie Betts will be back on Thursday, so once this drops, he'll be back for that game, the opening series night. But with this team, it's the Red Sox offense has been red hot. The pitching has been the tough part. It's the starting rotation hasn't panned out to be exactly what you would hope for, but the offense altogether, I mean, Andrew Benintendi is red hot. Mookie Betts is, as of right now, the best hitter in baseball. JD Martinez is a pretty close.
I mean, that home run he hit in the day game against Toronto.
Yeah.
That landed in Cambridge.
He smashed that ball. But their offense is just so red hot. Even their catchers are picking up steam. Jackie Bradley Jr. is actually getting the bat on the ball. Mitch Moreland's hitting piss missiles. I mean, just altogether, the team's offense has been red hot. But they're running into the best rotation, in my opinion, in all of baseball right now.
Who have they played up to this point? Who have they had to hit up to this point?
Yeah. They haven't seen a rotation like this. Verlander, I looked at Verlander's ERA.
It's 108, right?
I didn't believe it. I knew he was having a good year. His ERA right now is 1.11. That's unbelievable.
So it went up from the other day. I checked it the other day. It was 108. So it went
1.11.
1.11. And I think their starting rotation ERA as a whole is like 2.5.
Yeah, I looked through the whole starting rotation. I mean, what's his name? I don't even really know who this guy is. Charlie Morton. He's
former
pitching
Pittsburgh Pirate.
2.26 ERA. Garrett Cole, another former Pittsburgh Pirate. He's pitching out of his mind. The entire rotation minus, I mean, even Dallas Keuchel's in the mid-threes, and I don't want to face Dallas Keuchel. He's a good pitcher. It's the entire rotation is stacked. So this is going to be a good test for the Red Sox going into it. Expectation-wise, I expect the Red Sox to play with them. I'm worried that their pitching is going to get mashed. I hate that the opening tone for the series is going to be Drew Pomeranz against the Houston Astros because Drew Pomeranz stinks at baseball. It's the expectation is you need them to, like you said, show that they belong, show that they can hit good pitching. And this is the rotation that if they finish 1 and 2, they're going to end up seeing each other in the ALCS most likely. So you're going to have to go through this team. You're going to have to show them, hey, guys, we can smoke you if we want to.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pitching matchups. That's what I want to get into a little bit. Obviously, having Drew Pomeranz in game 1 is not ideal. You want to get off on the right foot. But the matchup I'm looking at is Chris Sale and Garrett Cole. And I believe that's on Saturday on ESPN. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that it's either Friday or the Saturday matchup. And Chris Sale's been, he's been good, but he hasn't been himself his last couple of starts. That's a game where they are really gonna need him. Are you worried about Chris Sale? I'm a little worried about him going into this game. I won't lie that he's going down a little bit of a slippery slope. If he gets shelled again, is it going to kind of knock something loose mentally? Is it not that it's going to ruin his season, but is it going to put him off the path he needs to be on maybe?
No, you're right. I'm nervous about him too. And he's not a guy like David Price, so I'm not worried about him mentally. If he gets rocked, I think he's going to come back out and believe that he's the best pitcher in baseball and he's going to pitch his ass off that day. But we've seen him recently go on that slide, and it's weird because his breaking ball's biting. It's crisp and it's clean. The bat, he's throwing good pitches. He's missing a lot of location, which has been the problem with him, which he never misses location. He's always been one of the most accurate pitchers in baseball, but he's missing a lot of location. You cannot do this with this team. So just like the entire team, this is going to be a good test for him this year. We're going to see how he pitches against the best, one of the best in the league.
And remember, he got shelled by them in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, he did. He got smoked. So it's revenge time. We're going to see how he does against Houston. This is a measuring stick for everybody. If Chris Sale can pitch well against these guys, he'll get that confidence back. Now, I don't think he lost the confidence, but he will think, okay, I can pitch against Houston. I can smoke anybody.
It would be a huge speed bump to get over mentally for him, for sure. I'll tell you this, and you mentioned his name, and you thought it was bizarre me saying I was optimistic at the beginning of this video. This is going to floor you. The one guy I am expecting to have a good start of anybody is David Price.
Davey,
yep. The game's on the road in an environmentally controlled building. It'll either be a warm Texas sunny day or that roof will be closed. He pitched well against Texas in the playoffs. Against Houston, in the playoffs. I think this should be another good start for David Price. I think he continues his role, and I'll be very encouraged. I'm actually a little more worried about Sale going in than I am about Price for this one series, given the way they both pitched in the postseason last year against Houston, and given what they've both done in the last 3 or so starts. I'm a little more optimistic about David Price. But that all being said, Nick, here's we're up against it. 4-game set Thursday through Sunday. Let me get a quick prediction from you. How many games do the Red Sox get down in Houston?
4-game set. I think they split 2-2. I think it's an optimistic series for them. I think this is going to be a boost. Splitting 2-2 with the Houston Astros isn't really anything to get worried about. So I think they're going to split 2-2. I think they drop tomorrow night. I don't think Drew Pomeranz is going to get to that lineup. I think he's going to get mashed by that lineup. But 2-2, like I said, I think it's going to be pretty good for the Sox. And we're going to see what this team's made of, baby.
I'm actually not totally turned off on Pomeranz starting tomorrow night. Remember last year when he was on that insane stretch after the All-Star break? One of the games in Houston was actually arguably his best game of the year. I think he could come out and throw a gem tonight, a Thursday night. I feel like it's either going to be a gem, like 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, or he's going to be out of the game by the third. I feel like there's no in-between for him. I have a 2-2 split as well. I think anything less, and you really got to be worried about what this team could do in the postseason. I'm not going to be worried about them making the postseason. I'm not necessarily even going to be worried about them making the division. But if they lose 3 or even if they get swept, I'm going to be sitting here asking, what was this all for? What's this whole season leading up to if they can't beat Houston? But we'll discuss that after the series. Don't want to punish them for something until they've done it. For coverage throughout the series, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Red Sox CLNS. And check us out online at clnsmedia.com. For Nick Quaglia, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the weekend series, everybody.